Okay, fire away.
Kevin, are you ready to name a starter for the Hall of Fame game?
No, I'm not, but I'll be there.
Hey Kevin, Nick Chubb, without Kareem here, do you see him being a little more used in the passing game this year?
I think, Fred, I think it's early to say, make those type of predictions. Nick's a huge part of what we do offensively in the run and in the pass. So we'll see how all that shakes out, like you mentioned. But I think he's doing a really nice job. Showed up, he's in shape. He's catching up to some of the things that are new, and he's working at it.
Looks like y'all are experimenting with the different things Elijah Moore can do offensively.
Yeah, I think that's what, honestly, the offseason and minicamp are for. You got to put things in the laboratory, see what they look like. So we're trying to emphasize certain things where we just need more. We need extra reps, really, is what we're trying to do. So make sure that we're intentional about what we rep so that we can see what we like, see what works for our players. Because ultimately, like you mentioned, Jake, each one of these players, Elijah in this case, we got to find out what he does best.
Kevin, I know this probably isn't the ideal situation to evaluate defensive linemen yet, but what have you seen out of Obo?
Yeah, and you're 100% correct on that, Scott. It's so hard, you want to say, hey, this guy's having a good camp. It's so hard in the rules, how they're written, for the guys in the trenches that their game is predicated on physicality, and you can't do that. So Obo in particular, though, I've been very impressed with him in our building. Works really hard, displays some leadership traits. As you know, we've played him, so I know what he's all about. He's a really a relentless pass rusher, plays hard, plays with power, plays with speed. So excited about Obo, but right now I think he's doing a nice job with what we're asking him to do.
And when you make the move for then Za'Darius after you sign him, does there need to be a conversation? Because I'm thinking he came here thinking he was going to be a starter, and now his role might be different.
Yeah, I think for all of our players, you have a lot of those conversations with your guys throughout the offseason as things change. But we also know that our jobs, every single one of us, coaches, players, we have to do our job, whatever that job is, whatever our role is, whatever role we earn, we have to do that job to the best of our ability.
In reference to all the Gambling Act violations that have occurred, the Browns re-up their teaching program, the do's and don'ts?
Yes,
And
often. Yeah, because it's
nobody knows.
we take it really seriously, Tony. We've talked, you could ask the players, we've talked a lot about it throughout this offseason, just because you're teaching off of things that are happening around our game and happening with other teams, and we don't want to lose a guy for any reason. We don't want them to get injured. We don't want to lose a guy for breaking a rule of any sort. So you have to educate them on the rules, because there is some things that are new, as you know, with sports gambling. So part of my job and our job with this organization is to educate our players. We're going to spend more time on it. We talked about it yesterday. We're going to spend more time on it this afternoon as well.
Hey, Ken, why was Peyton Winfrey not on the field yesterday or today?
Yeah, he's working inside, but not going to get into all the specifics.
But is he healthy?
Yes.
How much would you say Deshaun Watson has improved? We're talking to Deshaun today, so how much has he improved over maybe this time last year? How's it looking out there?
Yeah, I think you'd have to ask him, Mary Kay, for a specific answer to that. He's doing everything we're asking him to do, and like I mentioned earlier, we're trying some different things. Like even in that last period, we made an adjustment right before the play. Hey, said, have the running back do this instead of what we had previously talked about. So it's all about trying to see what our guys can handle, see what our guys are good at, quarterback included, right? Want to see what Deshaun is comfortable with, but he's doing a really nice job.
I know again, it's 7-on-7 and stuff like that, but just in terms of sharpness, going to the right place with the ball.
Yeah, it's so important. Yeah, and to your point, 7-on-7, I mean, I beat the quarterbacks up on your eyes and your feet in those drills, and he's working really hard. I think he's working really hard in the meeting room, making sure that he's got a really good grasp of what we're doing, and then the ability to make throws, the ability to be on time, go through a progression, and make accurate throws to our guys. So he holds himself to a high standard, and I think he's practicing really well.
Kevin, body language with Deshaun this year compared to last year, it seems like a lot more demonstrative, a lot more. It seems like vocal. You just noticing a difference in there that maybe that comes with a certain comfort level that this is his team now fully.
Yeah, again, I don't want to go backwards, but I'll just tell you where he is. He's working really hard. He's got a good. like any of us, 1 year into it has a better grasp of all things. So we just got to continue to stack days and get better every day.
What have you seen from David Njoku to the offseason? He had a couple nice catches out there today, but just the evolution of his game and where do you think he's at?
Yeah, I think, like we've talked about a lot with Dave, when he was healthy last year, he was rolling. He was making plays in the pass game, was excellent in the run game. So we know what he's capable of. I still think there's even more that we can get from Dave and Dave can get from himself. And I think he puts himself in great position to do that with how he takes care of his body, practices really hard. So excited about Dave.
Kevin, are you comfortable with the backup offensive tackle situation right now? Without
Yeah.
veteran, although you got guys that maybe could swing over there, I guess.
Yeah, I think with, as you know, Tony, with our roster, we continue to, Andrew and crew, look at every position to try and improve throughout the season. I really like the guys we have, both the starters and the backups at that position. They're working really hard. I think Coach Callahan and Coach Peters and Coach DeCoster, they're spending countless hours in that meeting room out here on the field to develop young players. So we're working really hard at it right now.
So after tomorrow, the next time your whole team will be on the field together for practices at the Greenbrier, right?
Correct.
So what do you hope are the main benefits that you guys get out of going out?
Yeah, I think the Greenbrier will be an opportunity for us to get away, get away from town and get under the same roof together and hopefully there's no cell phone service, that type of thing. So it just allows you to just be around your team and really focus on the work. I mean, we're down there, I think, for 8 nights. And it, as we've talked about with that Hall of Fame game, really gives us an opportunity to lengthen our runway into the season. So we're going to make each one of those days count. But excited to just be down there together. And then we'll get back up here and have plenty more work to do and have an opportunity to get in front of our fans.
So do you think, like, what you're saying is you'll
One more
be
here.
under the same roof and everything? Like, you would be here, but do you think, like, taking it there
Exactly,
is
yeah.
more conducive to bonding?
It can be. It can be. Yeah, I think it's never, if you have the opportunity, and luckily and fortunately we have ownership that are so supportive of this, but if you have the opportunity to get your team away and really focus on football and kind of eliminate distractions, be it a crying kid at 2 a.m, get everybody in one spot, I think it's beneficial to your team.
Last one, then Nick Chubb.
I don't know if anybody's got crying kids, but
What do you want Deshaun Watson to do or accomplish when you send him forth tomorrow?
Yeah.
Between now and when he shows up at the Greenbrier?
yeah, he has a plan. We've talked about it. He'll do a couple things, personally, but then he'll have the guys working out in a couple different spots. They'll stay sharp. So we'll talk about it tomorrow with the team, but that break is really important for a bunch of different reasons. Number one, to just get away, take that final breather, because as you know, it's a long season. So to get that final breather away from this, but then also to keep yourself in great shape. I think those weeks away are an opportunity for our players to really get ready for the grind. I think they've done a nice job with this offseason while they're here, and then when they're away, it's time to get your bodies ready for the grind.
Can I squeeze one more?
Sure you can, Jeff.
Does the offensive line, do they have to hold blocks longer, or how much different is it for them blocking for Deshaun than it was for?
Yeah, that's something we've talked about. I mean, it was something certainly we saw last season. Deshaun has the ability to extend plays, and when those times come up, it's really incumbent on all 10 other guys out there to stay alive, and that may be the receivers getting open. That's got to be the offensive line when they're blocking. The play's never over until that whistle blows, and Deshaun does have that unique ability that he's shown his whole life to extend plays.
How much improvement do you feel you've made, or how much farther ahead are you this time last year from last year?
I'm pretty far ahead of where I was last year. Last year was, as far as football being on the field, just learning a new system, trying to adapt to, different teammates, different players, how guys run routes, how Kevin calls the plays, and just being able to, process the game at the speed I know. And being a year in and being able to talk to Kevin and AVP about what we want to do and being confident about it, it allows me to play a little bit faster when I'm on the field.
We just talked to David Njoku, and he said it seems like every football you throw is just right spot on the money. Just how much fun are you having out there, and how good do you feel?
I feel really good. Like I said before, the biggest thing is just the confidence level. Just knowing who I am, trusting what I do, trusting the work that I put in, these past couple years to get back to this position that I'm in and have the opportunities to go out there and try to, win some games and do it with the guys that we have on the field. So I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun, and just keep stacking the days.
Deshaun, you also mentioned the confidence when you talked about the golf outing. Is that something that you always knew would come back to?
Oh,
You had in Houston?
Oh, most definitely, because that's just for anybody. If you stop doing something for so long, you just naturally lose that confidence because you haven't been playing at that level. So you forget, your body and your muscle memory forget how fast and how to do things, but it never loses it. So whenever I got back on the field last year, I was building that confidence up, took a break, came back, tried to build it back up, but having this off season and being full throttle definitely have caught back up with me. So just like I said before, just keep stacking the days.
It looked yesterday you were the talk of the day because you were firing the ball and happy and on target. But it looked to me like the receivers were outstanding yesterday. Do you agree with that?
Of course. I mean, everyone in that locker room, especially the receivers, the skill guys, the tight ends, even the running backs have been locked in. And, it starts with me. It starts with the quarterback room with me, Josh, Kellen, and DT. We got to come up here and lead the guys in the huddle, have that confidence, that energy. And as we do that, then the receivers are going to do that. And they know that everyone can get the ball. It don't matter who's in the game, Amari, Elijah, Mike Harley, anybody. If Till, if he's out there, he's able to get the ball. You got to be full speed, got to know what to do, and be ready to catch the ball when we come. So, it all starts with the quarterback position, and then it trickles down throughout the team.
And Deshaun, go ahead.
You gave AVP goosebumps last week with one of the throws. Have you had a couple of those moments yourself where you're like, okay, that's me?
I guess you could say that. I try not to get too high and not too low. I just try to stay balanced. Of course, I have some excitements with a couple of throws and all that, but at the same time, I'm just training myself, regardless of how good that throw was or how bad it was. I always stay balanced because that's what you're gonna have to do in the game. It's always the next play. So, just getting back to the basis of my mentality of what I was before, and that's what I just continue to do.
How do things stand with DeAndre Hopkins? Do you have any idea if the Browns are pursuing him? And obviously, you still want him, but can you update us on that a little bit?
Really, I have no idea. That's more of a AB or Kevin question, but for me, I have no idea where that stands. But like I said last week, of course, we would love to have him, and we'll see how things go.
How receptive to your recruitment pitch was he?
Hop is, me and him has always had that relationship. So, me and him is locked in. That's my brother. I talked to him yesterday because it was his birthday, but nothing about football, just about life and just how he can just, enjoy his day and, more blessings to him.
Hey, Deshaun, I asked you at the golf outing if you're shaking off the rust. After these 2 days, are you more prepared to answer that question?
I am not. We'll figure out week 1 in Cleveland's Brown Stadium against Cincinnati. That's when I can really, after that game, we can see where things are going. But right now it's still October, or not October, still OTAs or minicamp, and still the off season. So we have a long way to go before I can answer that.
You went to the Greenbrier twice with Houston. Other than it's a neat place, what's the benefit of going there? Why did you speak up for it?
Well, I didn't even know that we were going there until I met with Kevin when we came back. But whenever we did, I just knew that, the biggest thing what we did in Houston was it just built that chemistry. And guys got to spend time with each other. But we already doing that here. And we just take it to Greenbrier where we're kind of offsetting, and we spend a little bit more time together, doing activities together, going golfing, bowling. They have different activities there, so it'd be good to kind of get away from Cleveland a little bit and just kind of build that chemistry before we start the season off.
Deshaun, I know we've gotten to see Marquise's vertical speed. Like, when you have a guy like that who can run routes like that, how does it open up your offense as a whole for you in the pass game?
It can be scary. Because the secondary and the defense have to watch out for him. So you have to make sure you get your depth if you're playing defense and keep your eyes on whatever you got, whatever that defense is trying to do. So it kind of opens up other guys underneath, because if that guy runs by and if we can hit those deep shots, that can open up the run game and also the intermediate and short game in the passing game.
Just to go back to Tom's question about you feeling more comfortable or whatever, at that one throw to him in OTAs, that long throw, you did your bow and arrow celebration. I know people were pointing that out on social media. Something like that, just like a sign of you're getting back into it, feeling more comfortable with what you're doing out there?
Definitely. I'm getting comfortable with the position I'm in, getting comfortable being here in Cleveland and in this organization, and just my personality over time is going to continue to show, and people are going to get to know me, like I mentioned last year. But all that time is patience, and over the days as we continue to work and stack and keep improving, more and more of that stuff will come out.
Deshaun, going off of that, you're talking about comfortability. What areas specifically on the field are you feeling like you're gaining more confidence?
Just the mental game, the mental aspect. And I think last year was just a little bit slow because I was trying to catch up with all the guys whenever I came back, week 13 or 12, whatever it was. And just trying to pick up the speed of the game and just where my eyes and placement, those little things that people don't see and don't realize that kind of go into the reps and the mental game, especially playing a quarterback position. So all that is picking up, and just got to continue to work at it.
Can you estimate how much percentage of the offensive playbook are new plays that they didn't run last year?
What was the first part, Simon?
Estimate how much of the playbook is absolutely new to this year.
Everything's new.
Really?
Everything's new.
Deshaun, how much do you appreciate maybe the versatility and the diversity within the receiver group that the Browns have put together this year during this offseason?
It's awesome. I mean, AB and Kevin, AVP, those guys have done a great job of getting all the guys that's in that the receiver room, and they, being able to do everything, playing different positions, playing outside, inside. Everyone can do everything. So you never know going into a game plan or a situation what personnel we have in and what we can do out that personnel grouping. So it's awesome.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit when you said that everything is new? I mean, is it the same playbook with a completely different spin on it? Is it different terminology? How is everything new?
I would just say just the foundation and the structure of the offense is the same, but as we build and continue to get ready for the season, everything else is new. So,
how different do you think it'll look stylistically and schematically when you get to the point?
I'm not sure because Kevin is always involving him and AVP. They're always working out and watching tape and trying to do different things and how we can scheme different teams and different, defensive schemes. So it's kind of hard to really explain that, but all this stuff gets out on social media, so I can't speak too much on all that.
Does it feel new to you though? What does it? When you say everything's new, but does it feel new to you?
It's in between. Because I'm still learning. Last year I missed half the year, so some things that I'm still picking up, some things that I already kind of knew from previously what I've learned when I was in Coach O'Brien's in the Houston offense. The NFL is kind of similar in a whole, but at the same time, every offensive coordinator and team do their kind of different schemes in the way they kind of approach it.
Is there a lot of Bill O'Brien stuff now in here?
No, this is all Kevin and AVP.
Your favorite plays haven't come back?
Some probably have, but like I said, this league is a pretty much copycat league in a sense. You kind of learn from the different trees, but kind of same kind of ground. But everything is all Kevin and AVP.
How much of those conversations are you saying, like, hey, I have run this in the past, I really like this set, I really like things like that? Are those conversations still going on?
Yeah, we have those conversations every day. Every time we get in the meeting room, they're asking questions, I'm asking questions. I'm giving, suggestions or making statements. They're doing the same thing. So it's an open room once we get in that room. And that's how, we're going to continue to grow and be able to have success because no one's in that room. AVP or Kevin, who's calling the plays, AVP, who's dealing up the scripts and all that. No one is stubborn. No one is insecure with this is the way we need to do it. Everyone's open to all right, whatever works is going to work for us, and if we like it, then we're going to run it.
How much more excited are you about it, knowing that it's all really now tailored all to you and it should showcase your strengths?
I'm very excited. It's just a lot more responsibility for myself, but I like the weight on my shoulders, and for me to be able to go out there and show what I got and help me lead this team to a lot of victories. That's where I want to get to. So we have a lot of work to put in this next break, and once we come back and on the 19th, we got to be ready, locked and loaded, and show what we got.
Deshaun,
last one here.
There's obviously still 2 civil suits outstanding. During this time between now and camp, is there anything you need to do as far as those are concerned? Have you been deposed? Will you be deposed? Do you have any update on that?
No update. That's all my legal team and my counsel team. with the NFL. All I need to do is just focus on my job, and that's just being locked in on who Deshaun Watson is and getting ready for a report date on July 19th.
But do you have to go to, I mean, there's supposed to be a trial. I mean, do you think that, will that be able to happen between now and training camp? Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea. That's a Rusty Harding question, so I'm not even sure.
Is it bothersome that hasn't all been resolved by now?
All I can do is control what I can control and just focus on what I can, and that's football right now.
Deshaun, I know
Last
you're
one.
really known for those TikToks that get like Browns Twitter talking and stuff like that. Do you have any more in mind to give out?
I definitely want to be a little bit more active on social media, especially TikTok. So we definitely gonna work into it whenever we can. Of course, football is the main focus, but as time goes on, another way of showing my personality and who I am for the fans, and I think the fans like that. So I'm going to continue to do that.